Hola chicos. Once again this week we are going to continue with the preterite. And so when we think about what we were doing last week, we did have this presentation that we were working with. Now, last week we basically had 5 verbs that we were working with. This week we're going to continue working with the past tense and do some additional verbs. So last week, remember we had ser and ir, which were our twin verbs. Fui, fuiste, fue, fuimos, fueron. And I think some of you struggled understanding that this is the past tense. So instead of saying am, is, or are, you're going to say was or were. Same thing when we do ir, go, we're going to say went. And so these 2 verbs, remember, they're now memorized, hopefully. Fui, fuiste, fue, fuimos, fueron. The next one was ver, vi, viste, vio, vimos, vieron. Remember, sometimes we pronounce it more like a b, viste, vio, vimos, vieron. But the difference is going to be I see versus I saw. We also had dar, di, diste, dio, dimos, dieron. And instead of to give, it's going to be gave. And then the last one that you memorized last week was hacer. Hacer was one of those that you guys struggled with on the writing because you forgot that hacer doesn't just mean to do or to make, but it's also used to talk about to get in line and to pack a suitcase. So when I say this, hice una maleta, that means I packed a suitcase. Okay. Notice that all of them had their own memorization rules, and basically you just had to learn them. But today we're going to focus on what if it's not one of those 5 verbs. And the majority of the verbs that you guys learned this year are actually going to be regular verbs. So when I have an AR verb, if you notice in the notes, it has different endings. Just like how we used to conjugate o, as, a, amos, an, we now have a new set of endings. For AR verbs, notice it's E with an accent. So it's pronounced A. And yes, you want to say it a little louder. A, aste, o, amos, aron. Now, what I would do is write this down in my notes, and I for sure would make sure that I have an accent on the yo form over the letter E and an accent on the O for the L, ea, usted form. Okay, so the verb, for example, hablar. Hablar is to talk. So what is the past tense of I talk? It's going to be I talked, ed. So instead of saying hablo for I talk, in the past tense, it's going to be hablé. You conjugate it just like you do regular verbs, but instead of using the regular endings that you've been using, you're now going to use these new ones. And this basically changes it from present tense to past tense. Hablé, I talked. Hablaste, you talked. Habló, he or she talked. Hablamos, they talked. And hablaron, they talked. Remember, hablamos is actually going to be we talked. Okay, so basically, aste, o, amos, aron. Please make sure you have that written down because you're going to need those throughout the week. We also have then ER and IR verbs. And the great thing about past tense is the ER and IR verbs have the same exact endings. So you really don't have 3 sets of endings to learn this week. You only have 2. The ARs, a, aste, o, amos, aron, are a little bit different compared to the ER, IR. If you look at the notes, the I has an accent, so it's pronounced E. Then we have iste. Notice we have an I with an O accent, io, imos, ieron. So once again, iste, io, imos, ieron. So it doesn't matter if it's an ER verb like comer or an IR verb like vivir, both verbs are going to use the same set of endings. So when I say I eat, which is present tense, I say como. But using this new verb tense with the new verb endings, I'm now able to change I eat to I ate. Yo comí with an I accent. Tú comiste, you ate. Él comió, he ate. Nosotros comimos, we ate. And ellos comieron, they ate. Okay. Same thing with the IR verbs. For example, vivir. To say I live, we used to say vivo, but using our new set of endings, we're going to now change it using the I, iste, io, imos, ieron. So vivir changes to yo viví, tú viviste, él vivió, nosotros vivimos, ellos, ellas, ustedes vivieron. It's basically the same way. So I'm going to go back to the ARs for one more second. When I do these, remember they are having accents on the yo form and the ella usted form. Okay. Another verb, for example, bailar. I danced. Yo bailé. You called. Llamaste. She sang. Cantó. We practiced, practicamos, and they danced, bailaron. Notice that the aste, o, amos, aron is going to be consistent for all AR verbs, no matter which one you pick. The ER, IR, same thing. I, iste, io, imos, ieron. Once again, please notice that in the yo form, it has an I with an accent. In the he, she, usted form, the accent's not on the I. So this is going to be something you got to train your brain to do. And you're going to put the accent on the O. Today's activities really are going to be kind of on your own. So for the next couple of days, there are a couple of those pink sheets from that pink packet that I gave you before spring break. Do some of those and then kind of check your answers. This is going to be like that repetition type of thing that you guys need to do in order to remember these. Now you can't forget your 5 memorized, ser, ir, ver, dar, hacer, because eventually those 5, along with the AR, ER, and IR verbs, are going to be put together. There are still more irregulars, and we'll keep working with them as we go throughout the next couple of weeks in our e-learning lessons. So I really hope you guys will come on Thursday to our Zoom meeting. We will practice these a little bit, practice with our pronunciation. And here's the key. Some of you I don't feel have been watching the videos. So if you email me by the end of the day today and say that I told you to email me, I will reply with something special which will help you with things this week. So if you're still listening to this video and you email me, there'll be a nice little surprise after you email me. So I hope all's well, and I'll see you guys later. Thank you.